Going live now.
Good morning. Chair Herndon.
Good morning. Just waiting on confirmation of our third board member.
Dr. Johnson Davis is rejoining as a panelist, and I'll keep an eye out for Ms. Anderson.
Excellent. That gives us a quorum, so I'll go ahead and get started. We'll now call this meeting to order at 10:01 a.m. Any locality electing to opt out of the statewide homestead exemption as outlined in Georgia Code 48-5-44.2 shall conduct a minimum of 3 public hearings. This hearing is similar to public comment at our monthly board meeting. Therefore, members of the board will not address persons commenting or speak to the substance of any comments made during the House Bill 581 hearing. Instead, a member of the admin team will follow up with persons commenting or asking questions. Dr. Broom, our Chief Financial Officer, will proceed with House Bill 581 hearing presentation.
Good morning, Chair Herndon, Vice Chair Dr. Sultan, esteemed members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Whitaker, and community. Although the district's intent to opt out of House Bill 581 has an impact on all 4 strategic accelerators, there is a specific focus on organizational effectiveness and excellence through financial equity and transparency. A presentation was presented at the October board meeting, which provided a summary of House Bill 581, the anticipated financial impact to the district, and the district's intent to opt out if House Bill 581 passed. House Bill 581 passed in the November 2024 election. The purpose of this bill is to amend the Constitution of Georgia to authorize the General Assembly to provide by general law for a statewide homestead exemption that serves to restrict the increases in property tax bills for homestead properties to the rate of overall inflation. There are guidelines and procedures that allow county, consolidated government, municipalities, or local school systems to opt out of the House bill. Currently, the opt-out procedures are a one-time requirement and must be completed by March 1st, 2025. The decision to opt out is permanent and is only required once. The opt-out procedures include advertising the district's intent to opt out and conducting a minimum of 3 public hearings. To ensure transparency and allow everyone an opportunity to attend and speak at a public hearing, the district will conduct 5 public hearings for House Bill 581 intent to opt out. Today's hearing is the first of 5. Upon completion of the 5th hearing, the Board of Education will adopt a resolution, and the resolution will be filed with the Secretary of State no later than March 1st, 2025. A property tax exemption is a reduction or elimination of property taxes on a specific property or for a particular group of property owners. The City Schools of Decatur currently offer multiple property tax exemptions for which resident property owners may qualify. Included are general exemptions based on ownership and occupancy, as well as exemptions based on age, income, and disability. A homestead exemption reduces the taxable value of your home. For example, if your home is appraised at $450,000, the assessed value is 50% of that amount, or $225,000. With a $50,000 homestead exemption, you only pay taxes on $175,000. The $50,000 exemption resulted in an annual property tax savings of $1,015 for the taxpayer. Currently, the district has 7 active homestead exemptions based on various qualifiers, consisting of disability and age exclusively, and age combined with other qualifiers, including income. The exemption amounts range from $10,000 to the full property value being exempt. The fiscal impact to the district is based on the number of property owners that qualify and the exemption taken. In the last 5 years, homestead exemptions have averaged approximately $6.4 million. House Bill 581 is an additional exemption on top of any current exemption for property owners and will result in less revenue for the school district's primary operating budget, the general fund. The bill will have a large financial impact on school districts due to school districts having a property tax cap that limits their ability to raise local revenue. The columns for fiscal year 20 through fiscal year 2023 show the actual number of residential properties in the city. And as shown, the number of residential properties has slightly increased each year. Homestead properties are the total number of property parcels that are exempt for homestead purposes. This number fluctuates based on the exemption and the number of property owners that qualify and apply for the exemptions. The assessed value of all residential properties in the city of Decatur has increased from $1.8 million in fiscal year 2020 to $2.4 million in fiscal year 2023. The average assessed value, which is the assessed value of all residential properties divided by the total number of residential properties, has ranged from $246,392 to $314,285. The average assessed value multiplied by the eligible homestead properties gives us an estimated assessed value of homestead properties. From fiscal year 2024 to 2029, I projected the potential revenue loss for the district based on an estimated consumer price index of 3%. Please note that the consumer price index, also referred to as CPI, fluctuates and has ranged from 1% to 8% in the last 7 years. I projected 5% for the actual tax digest growth. In the last 4 years, the actual tax digest growth has ranged from 5 to 13%. Based on those projections and a millage rate of 20.30, fiscal year 25 potential revenue loss is approximately $500,000. And the potential revenue loss increases each year with a projected revenue loss of $1.6 million in fiscal year 2029. My numbers are conservative. However, as shown, the actual digest growth rate has traditionally exceeded the CPI rate. The reduction in the general fund operational budget from the property tax cap will negatively impact the district's ability to provide adequate educational services and competitive salaries. Overall, this could lead to fewer teachers, larger class sizes, deteriorating facilities, fewer safety personnel and resources, and a decline in overall educational resources. State funds will not make up the shortfall. The state has increased the district's reliance on local funds with unfunded state mandates such as healthcare costs and increased compensation. SPLOST funds will not make up the shortfall. With the decline in collection of sales tax, we have seen a drastic reduction in SPLOST funds. Approximately 60% of the district's general fund budget is funded through local property taxes. The cap introduced uncertainties, especially in economic downturns. If the property tax cap is enforced, the district may have to consider eliminating current exemptions, increasing the millage rate to cover basic expenses, or facing the ultimate negative impact of furloughs and job cuts. The quality of local schools directly impacts home values. Poorly funded schools may decrease the attractiveness of a community. Lower home values could affect broader community economic health, not just individual homeowners. While the cap may save homeowners a small percentage per household on taxes, the losses for the school district could be substantial. With increases every year and projected increases of over $1 million from fiscal year 2027 forward, failing to opt out of House Bill 581 will lock the district into potentially damaging financial constraints. Next, voters voted for House Bill 581 on November 5th, 2024. The tentative and aggressive timeline for action required an advertisement in the local newspaper and on the district's website of the district's intent to opt out. Advertisement dates announcing the Board of Education intent to opt out were posted on January 9th and will be posted on the 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Although only 3 public hearings on the district's intent to opt out are required, the Board of Education will conduct 5 public hearings. Today's hearing is the first of 5. The second hearing will be held in person at 6:45 p.m. at the Wilson Center Boardroom, located at 125 Electric Avenue. All remaining hearings will be held virtually, and the address is listed on the website. An opt-out resolution will be presented to the board at the February 11th, 2025 board meeting for board adoption. The resolution will be filed on February 13th, 2025. This concludes the first of 5 hearings for House Bill 581.
Thank you, Dr. Broom, for the presentation. Members of the community who would like to provide public comment on this topic should indicate their desire to do so by pressing the raise hand icon in Zoom. Please ensure your name in Zoom provides a clear first and last name. You'll be called upon in the order which you raise your hand. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
First speaker is Casey Boyce.
Good morning. Thank you, board members, for the opportunity here. My name is Casey Boyce. I live at 601 3rd Avenue in Oakhurst. I strongly oppose the opt-out of HB 581. I think the presentation claiming that the city schools would not be able to afford teachers, safety staff, and other support staff is a red herring in this case, because the application of HB 581 would not change the current tax base and reduce revenue. It would simply cap it to inflation. We could maintain the existing quality of educational service within the district under HB 581. If the district does choose to opt out, what you are in effect saying is that your budget will increase at a faster rate than inflation, and that homeowners in the city will have to pick up the tab. And we already have an affordability issue in Decatur with housing prices, and taxes certainly don't help that affordability issue. Ms. Broom outlined options that the district would have to increase revenues should there be any additional expenditures that are needed above and beyond the rate of inflation. These include increasing the millage rate and adjusting homestead exemptions. So city schools would not be locked into a fixed revenue and growth. Finally, and something that I think the school board should weigh very heavily, is that in the most recent election, 56% of Decatur voters, these are people who live in the district, voted to approve HB 581, saying that the community does want to see this floating homestead exemption in place. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Casey.
No one else has a hand up.
Just give it a few more minutes in case anyone logs in or decides. Right, seeing no hands being raised, I want to thank you all for taking time to attend the first of our 5 House Bill 581 intent to opt out hearings. The board's second hearing will be held in person this evening, Tuesday, the 14th at 6:45 p.m. or following the conclusion of the board meeting. This meeting is adjourned at 10:16 a.m. Thank you all.